While we've been covering the impeachment trial of President Trump, another big political event is happening on Monday, the Iowa caucuses. 4 senators are currently running for president, which means their time has been recently split between Capitol Hill and the campaign trail. For more, let's bring in Ed O'Keefe. He is a CBS News political correspondent, and he joins me now from Des Moines, Iowa. Ed, good to see you. How quickly can we expect senators still running for president to be back on the campaign trail after the impeachment trial?
Well, first off, Elaine, I love that opening line. Oh, by the way, there's an election going on, but we haven't been able to talk about
right.
it. We expect them here as early as tomorrow night if there is a vote that essentially does away with the idea of bringing in witnesses and they move very quickly to acquittal, because we expect them to acquit the president at this point. They have all been scheduling events for as early as Friday afternoon, but they're the kind of events that can be peeled away very quickly. And so Saturday is more likely going to be the day that they actually get back out on the trail across the state, whether it's concerts or rallies. We expect Sanders and Warren and Klobuchar especially to get here and campaign as furiously as they can Saturday and Sunday.
Well, Ed, I know we talked about this earlier in the week. There is speculation that Joe Biden's campaign could be in the process of forming caucus alliances with other campaigns. What have you heard from his camp on this?
We've heard that that the representatives of his campaign are sniffing around, let's say, for some potential alliances with various candidates in hopes that they can have other candidates who may not hit the 15% required at caucus sites to have their supporters then, or at least encourage them to consider voting for the former vice president. The candidate who's been the most vocal about this is one of the only ones here in Iowa, Andrew Yang, who admitted yesterday that he'd been approached by a few campaigns. We here at CBS have confirmed with his camp that they've been approached by Biden allies or Biden staffers about a potential alliance of some sort. Earlier today, after an event he held in Waukee, a suburb here of Des Moines, we put it to the Iowa governor, former Iowa governor Tom Vilsack, former agriculture secretary as well, who is supportive of Vice President Biden. I asked him whether or not the Biden campaign was doing this, and he sidestepped the question, didn't really confirm or deny it, but said that ultimately what's going to matter on caucus night is the face-to-face persuasion that different precinct captains are able to use with people whose candidate may not be making it onto the second round, or who may show up to a caucus site undecided. And so if perhaps in that essence he was confirming it, then we'll see. But look, this is the horse trading that goes on in what is arguably the most Byzantine election process in this country. You gather in about 1,600 precincts across the state. You hold small caucuses that report into bigger numbers that ultimately determine what the statewide result was and who gets how many delegates. And it could take most of the night for us to find out. And that's just the way it is.
Byzantine is certainly an apt description. And I want to ask you about the New York Times report that Joe Biden's campaign has quietly rolled back hundreds of thousands of dollars of TV ads in New Hampshire and South Carolina in recent weeks and redirected the funds to buy more ads in Iowa. What might that indicate, Ed?
It indicates that they see good things for them here, and they'd like to be able to finish as strongly and as well as possible. Remember, this started essentially right around Christmas time, when they realized that the time he spent here in November and early December was paying off, and his numbers came back up after sliding over the summer. The commitment he put into traveling across the state, especially in the smaller communities, appeared to be paying off in the numbers. And so they said, look, we're doing well enough in South Carolina that we don't need to be spending much money there. New Hampshire may ultimately become a contest between its neighbors, Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. Why not try to start as big as possible here and see if that catapults us into a good showing in New Hampshire, knowing that South Carolina's all right, knowing that Nevada probably will be okay, and that more money will come in if he wins. So this is a strategic move that other campaigns have made as well. What's different for Biden, given his strength, is that he's able to move ad money and not necessarily has to move personnel or lay off personnel to save money.
Interesting. Meantime, Pete Buttigieg unveiled some new lines in one of his Iowa stump speeches today. He directly went after Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden by name. Let's take a listen to what he said.
I hear Vice President Biden saying that this is no time to take a risk on someone new. And then I hear Senator Sanders calling for a kind of politics that says you've got to go all the way here and nothing else counts. And it's coming at the very moment when we actually have a historic majority, not just aligned around what it is we're against, but agreeing on what it is we're for.
So, Ed, what is his strategy here in the final stretch?
To win. And in order to do that, he's got to get beyond or above Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. And if you look at most polling right now, Biden or Sanders end up being 1 and 2, depending on the survey, and Buttigieg is usually third or fourth. So by now, finally, after weeks of being poked and prodded by voters and by reporters, he seems here in the closing hours to be calling them out explicitly. That may signal that they're seeing something that suggests that he has a chance to do that, or it may just be that he's finally come to grips with the fact that in order to win, he's got to be more explicit about what exactly he offers that those other two guys don't.
All right, Ed O'Keefe in Iowa. Ed, I will see you very soon, my friend.
We can't wait to see you, Elaine. It's just lovely here if you're into weather in the 30s.
Ed, thanks.